is the only team this whole season, 16-0 Indiana, that came close to beating them. We were the lowest number lost to Indiana all year, 3 points. So thank you, Terry Smith, for being Terry Smith. Thank you, God, for Pat Kraft and firing Franklin. Thank you, God, for Matt Campbell. And thank you, God, we have a new regime next year. Yeah, that was a bit of a throwback, Thomas. I've made that a while ago. It's pretty timeless, so I'll probably play it more. But got Joe Crispin in there, Tyler, AJ, Greg, Kyler Cunningham. He's a coach now. So, well. 0 5-stars on the team, national champion. Uh-huh. Did you see what Saban said tonight? He basically said that these recruiting rankings don't mean anything. So Chris is gonna be probably calling Saban tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. I've always just trusted in Campbell. That's my view on it. That's my approach. I've always just trusted Campbell. That's all. That's always been my view, is I trust Campbell. I don't care who they're getting. He's doing a good job. And I was in the gym tonight, like I just said, and I've never had a conversation with this person, but I'm standing at the water fountain and I feel this tap on my shoulder. And I turn around and I'm like, I can see it's someone that's tall. And I turn around and it's PSU Dylan. He's like, yo, what's up, man? He's like, I thought I saw you earlier. So we had like a 10-minute conversation, PSU Dylan and I. So he said that he's seen our stuff, and I told him to keep it up. I mean, he's a menace, man. Like he's always posting stuff. So, and he just announced not too long ago, I don't think, he made 50,000 followers on Instagram. So congrats to him. He said he's taking like one class now. He's taking one class this spring, or he's taking like one class now, and he's leaving in May. So I meant to ask him where he's going to work, but I would imagine he might try to work with Penn State. I don't know, but yeah, it was cool of him to come up and say what's up. I didn't see him in there. But yeah, cool guy for sure. Chill dude. And he took time to come and say what's up. So again, like I knew he knew. I knew he knew about our show, but I didn't know like he liked us, and stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, Chris isn't on here to defend himself, but I'm sure Gorky. Yeah, dude, that was a good game. I mean, Brett and I were going to come on here in like the third quarter because we thought they'd be freaking killing them. But congrats. Yeah. Yeah, I think I am, Fred. But yeah, guys, please like, share, subscribe. Help us get to 2,000 subs. We're at 1.3 right now, or 1,300 technically, 1.3 thousand. You can support us monetarily if you would like. Super chat, memberships, thanks button. So appreciate all your support. Oh, absolutely. Well, Franklin would probably never be in that situation in the first place. He would have screwed that up way before that. But yeah, you're right. Virginia Tech is cooked. Even though Virginia Tech is a sexy school, they're cooked. So Miami loses. Indiana wins. I don't know if I already said that, but Indiana, a crazy season. I don't know if we'll ever see it again. They have a great coach, and that's really what it comes down to. They have a great coach. So Gus is back too. I guess I'm not alone. Gus is back again. Got the Indiana hat on. Good job, Gus. We know you're a Buckeye, and Buckeye fans have said that themselves because they're clowns. Got to wear an Indiana hat because they're the champions. So Gorky versus Saban going to be like Verbo. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think he's still upset. Signetti hasn't. Yeah, Franklin would have blown the game. He would have. We could have been 14-point spread, and we still would have blown it. Yeah, they have no idea what they got themselves into. That administration is absolutely cooked. Yeah, they were down 10-0 versus FIU. The refs were absolutely homecoming. Oh, absolutely, and that hit on Carson Beck, like, my God, that was so bad. The definition of targeting. I mean, holy crap. Like, it was so blatant. It was so blatant. Targeting, crown of the helmet, to the head, to the face, made him literally bleed. And like, it was just so I don't know. It was just so obvious that was targeting, and they did not call it. It's crazy. I mean, that was shocking to me that they didn't call it. Yeah, I was literally, that guy should have been thrown out of the game. I mean, he literally crown a helmet to his chin. He was bleeding. I thought, I hope he didn't bite his tongue because he was bleeding quite a bit. And if you bite your tongue hard enough, it will bleed a lot. So I was hoping he didn't bite his tongue because if he bit his tongue, that would hurt a lot. So, they drew blood early and they came back and still won. So they led the whole game, I think. But again, Penn State is the only team to lose to them by 3 points or less. We lost by 3 points. No other team lost them by that. They lost by more. So pretty cool. That's the magic of Terry Smith. The whole game was. Game should have ended earlier if the IT didn't jump. Yeah, there's a banner on PSU Sports Daily that says 2025 only lost to Indiana by 3. So, at the end of the game when they were showing the Indiana screen like on national champions, I'm like, dude, this is college football 26 dynasty type crap. Like, who would have ever thought we would see that? We knew they were good and that they could probably win it at some point, but man, 16-0 Indiana, that's insane. Kurt Signetti is literally going down as like maybe the greatest coach of all time. Like, what he did at Indiana, are you kidding me? That's insane. He doesn't even have any talented. He doesn't even have any talent on this team, and he went 16-0. Like, that's got to be the greatest coaching performance ever. I mean, Saban went to Alabama. They weren't very good, and he wasn't very good they didn't do very good at first, but he had a lot of talent on his teams. But Saban basically said tonight that, the star rankings pretty much mean nothing. Josh Jacobs, a 0 star. What did he say? He said, come on, Instagram, load. What is wrong with you? He said that Josh Jacobs was a 0-star. Damian Harris was a 5-star. I remember both of them. Josh Jacobs is still playing. Damian Harris is not. So, yeah, it's crazy what he did. They had a head coach, OC, and DC, along with good QB and players that did their job. What's up, Fred? Thank God this is the last year of COVID players. No team should have an average age of 23. Yeah. People take advantage of the system in good and bad ways. Saban says star rankings mean nothing. Whole recruiting, top 5 classes regularly. Chris is here. But yeah, guys. It was a good game. It was back and forth. I thought it would have been a blowout, and it wasn't. Came down to the last drive, and like Burnout said, if the left tackle didn't jump, then probably would have ended early. Penn State has plenty of 4 and 5 stars. Have never had to shit. Yeah, definitely. And that's because the large reason for that is Franklin was an absolute clown. So, but I don't know. It's just hard to believe. Indiana 16-0 after they've had like 3 winning seasons their whole existence, and they were the past 3 years, something like that. My dad sent me that Signetti's won 27 games in 2 years, 16-0 this year. I mean, they didn't lose. That's another thing. They did not lose, and they almost lost to Penn State. That was their closest loss. Penn State, and that was Mendoza's Heisman moment when he drove down and beat Penn State. That was his Heisman moment. He drove them all the way down from I don't know, they were at their own 10 or something like that. And they won by a toe tap. I mean, that was an amazing catch. For the moment, it was an amazing catch. I mean, you don't see catches quite like that all the time, but you do see toe tap catches like that quite a bit. Just the moment made it bigger. And then they went on to beat Gus's team. And that's when Gus started wearing his Indiana hat. He's wearing it all off season. So good job, Gus. Gus will be on here. So, like I said, I'm not alone technically. Gus is with me. So, but yeah, it's true. When the guy who won 790s, who had 5-star, 5th stringers, says the system is dead. Yeah, I mean, like you said, he had a 0-star, and Josh Jacobs had a 5-star, and Damian Harris. It comes down to coaching. IU's toughest game of the season was against Terry Smith's Penn State team. Absolutely. Tyshawn. There's a funny meme of Tom Osborne calling Bobby Knight from the future to the past, telling Bobby Knight the world has gone mad because Nebraska football sucks and basketball is good. Yeah. Again, imagine waking up from a 4-month coma right now. Indiana won the national title. Mendoza won the Heisman. Penn State won 7-6. Clemson went 7-6. Ohio State was Notre Dame. They lost to the only 2 good teams they played all year, which we could have called that. But I was I was saying that. Ohio State fans thought I was crazy. But they know nothing about ball. So, and then Notre Dame. The only thing you would have predicted is that Notre Dame would lose to the only 2 teams that they played that were good, and then they sat out of a bowl game because they're a bunch of cowards. So could have predicted that. But the last thing you did, you were looking at rankings, and then you went into a coma, and you just woke up. You're like, wow. And then Miami made it too. Like, I would have never thought Miami would make it this year. But, another thing of what Saban said, Miami put a ton of money into this team, NIL portal, and they just lost to a team that doesn't do that. So Miami was one of those teams that put a lot of money into their team. Same with Alabama, Ohio State. Lots and lots of money they put into their team. So it really does. It comes down to coaching, guys. It really does. It comes down to coaching. Jim Harbaugh, I don't know how much money they had for NIL and the portal and stuff like that when they won, but it comes down to coaching. I mean, that's my opinion. It comes down to good coaching, a good fit, a good scheme, and we'll see what Matt Campbell can do. But will this happen again? I mean, I can't predict the future, so I don't know. But no, probably not. I mean, what Indiana did is just, it's unbelievable. It really is. There's really no other words to describe it. It's unbelievable what they did. They have very little talent, if you will. Got a lot of guys from JMU. Got a lot of like lower school guys on the team. Mendoza was a first-year transfer, and they go undefeated. I mean, that tells me one thing. Coaching is very important. Fit is very important. Attitude is very important. That's way more important than dollars and talent. It's cool that we might be getting Keemon Spell. I'm happy about that. But at the same time, like, he's a young kid. He's a kind of a diva. I don't care how good he is. Like, if he's not a good teammate, I'm not saying he's not going to be, but if he's not a good teammate, if he's not a good fit for Penn State, then, it doesn't mean anything, the 5-star ranking. So the number one running back in the class, Nick Singleton was the number one in his class. Aller, there's countless stories of Penn State in particular. It's just like, man, who cares? I think Clifford, he was like a higher 4-star guy. Now, again, he had Clifford, he had Franklin as a coach, but he wasn't as good as he could have been. So, yeah, I would much rather have guys. I would much rather have what Matt Campbell's doing right now, bringing in guys that fit, big guys that can play ball, most likely, than someone who's just going to come in and drop a bunch of money and like Franklin did. I mean, now if you combine because Campbell's not just going to go out and drop money on guys just because they're 5 stars. He's going to go out and drop money on guys that fit. So Keemon Spell, does he fit? He'll probably drop some money on him. Guys like that. Khalil Taylor, is he a fit? He's going to go out and get guys like that. So I would much rather have a Matt Campbell who is bringing in guys that fit, that he can coach, that he's going to make better, because all these players are going to get better, rather than go out and just drop money and put a little flashy little roster together and then it doesn't mean anything. That's what Franklin did. So, but if you can combine, again, Campbell's never going to go out and just get guys because they're high 5-star guys, talented guys. I don't think he's ever going to do that. He's going to go out and get the guys that are like that fit. So if you combine Campbell with getting talented players, which he will, 2027, he's going to have a good class, 28 and on. He'll have great classes. But you combine those two, Penn State's going to be pretty good, I think. Wonder how much ESPN paid Marcus Freeman to be on tonight's broadcast. Yeah, he is an absolute clown. He should not be on there. He knows nothing about good football, and his hairline is horrendous. Never sell out. I'm sure you won't. Brett works well with you. No, definitely won't sell out. Doesn't IU have about 42 players over age right now? Yeah. Yeah, I think they do. Indiana broke the system. But just because you're older doesn't mean, you're going to be good, that could actually be a bad thing. But hard work and execution beats potential and talent when they lack discipline. Yeah. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It showed that we need to stop disrespecting teams based on the old guard, believe that blue bloods will always beat up on the Indianas, JMU, Boise States, etc. Yep. Exactly. The whole landscape is coming a more level playing field. Yeah, it's definitely becoming more of a level playing field. Like, I don't think what Indiana did is like changing college football. Like, I don't think it's necessarily an indication that every team needs to do this, or this is going to work for everyone, or it's going to work for more teams. Like, we don't know. I mean, it's still, it is what it is. Like, it's a combination of coaching, fit, and yeah, you're going to be in a better spot if you go out and get talent. It's just got to fit your team. Franklin had no idea what his offense was. He got lucky. Yeah. Well, he would have been fired probably earlier if he didn't have Moorhead. But like, Franklin absolutely just went out and got guys because they were good, and that's it. Like, and he didn't use them. I mean, I was talking to Dylan about it. I said, Denmark going to Virginia Tech is horrendous. Gronk going to Virginia Tech is horrendous. Why would you go play for Franklin as a receiver? That's insane. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, we all thought it would be. We all thought it would be us. January 19th. This time last year, I had January 19th on the thumbnail. That's today, the national championship. Well, yesterday now, but January 19th, 2026. I had that up constantly. That's where we're going. And after Oregon, I knew we were cooked. Franklin had no idea. We've got a good team forming for this year, and we have an authentic coach. Absolutely. I don't know if the depth chart is updated. Yeah, looks like it is actually. Okay. So, Lyric Samuel, Kobe Howard, Peter Gonzalez, Owen, I think it's Alchaline, Cooper Cousins, Chimdiona, Dom Rowley. We got that other kid at center, Texas State. Donk, Garrett Sexton, Rapp. Yeah, so this doesn't have the Iowa State guys on it, I guess, but yeah, it definitely doesn't. But Cam Wallace, Quentin Martin, Hanson, Peoples, Yvonne Kamaju, McPherson, bunch of D tackles, linebackers, top 10 portal safety. But we got Alex Tash, Tony Rojas, Granville, Ty Blanding, Liam Andrews, Yvonne Kamaju, Jordan Mayer, DeAndre Cook, Darius Dixon, LeVar, Cam Smith, Vabu, Aldavian Collins, Jameer Joseph, and Zion Tracy. So that right there looks pretty good. Alone, that alone looks pretty good. Doubling down on Aller was the biggest mistake. Yeah, he did. He doubled down on everybody. He's a moron. I would say Aller is another Hackenberg. Yep. Yeah, Penn State football would not be where it's at, truly, if it weren't for Christian Hackenberg. Hackenberg came in. He played for a terrible coach. He came here even though the guy that recruited him bailed. And, so I definitely give Hack more credit. I mean, Drew, again, I'm not a player basher. Drew absolutely put up with a lot, played for a terrible coach. He could have left. He never did. Got the crap beat out of him every year. Faced so much adversity, and he still stayed. So I give him all the credit in the world. He's a mentally strong guy in terms of what he went through. Now on the field, like from the neck up, just doesn't have it. He needs better coaching. Here's the facts about the star system. It doesn't update every year, just your high school years. Yeah. Indiana is just a well-coached team. People want to talk about age and all that crap. But this team was well-coached with a bunch of guys who played. Absolutely, James. James, it's always good to have you in, man. He's a day one OG. James Williams. Always gives good insight. Yeah, absolutely. Notice how Indiana's. Yep, they do, man. Yeah, he will. And yeah, they do. They have so much discipline, man. Like they play with so much discipline and just grit, tenacity. I mean, like, and they faced adversity tonight. For the first time in the playoffs, they've faced adversity. And this was, Miami played very well. They could have won. Yeah, Prabula went to Virginia. He went to the V instead of the VT. So good for you, Prabula. You have a brain. But yeah, they play with discipline. They just play well schemed football. Like they do. They're a great team. I mean, very well coached. I can't say that it won't happen again next year, even though they're gonna have different guys because they're so well coached. So, I mean, who on this team is gonna be like a high draft pick, like Mendoza, who is good, but again, guys, every year they blow up quarterbacks. Every year in the draft, they blow up quarterbacks. I don't think Mendoza is a number one overall pick type of talent. But they're still going to take him number one, and he'll probably fizzle out. And I don't think he's going to win any Super Bowls. I don't know. We'll see. But Aller wasn't a fit to the scheme. Yeah, it didn't make any sense. Their offensive philosophy this year was one of the dumbest, most asinine, diabolical things I've ever seen in my life. Grown men were coaching these kids. They sucked. Kotelnicki was horrible. Made no logical sense what he did this year. He is a terrible coach. Rocco will have both his wide receivers. Yep. Yeah, that's what he thought. Like it just didn't make any sense at all. Like why would you just have success because you plug in 3 all-conference guys from the portal? It didn't work like at all. Pena was the best one we had. I mean, Kobe never played, but Pena was the best guy we had. And that's because he seems just like a solid person, good player, gritty, reminds me of Hines Ward. And they really didn't use him either. I mean, Terry completely reformed this team. Players can lock it. Yeah. Yep. 100%. Yep. And then to get into Penn State next year, briefly, I'm going to have Brett on, I don't know, probably tomorrow night. But 2026, we retained and again, I talked to PSU Dylan. He said, and when that head coaching search, when he like tweeted out about, I think it was Sataki, like that whole Kalashi market just totally turned around. Like he crashed the damn thing because of what he tweeted out. I think it was around Sataki, but PSU Dylan, he said that he was happy with the portal and what they did. He said, for the little time that they had from when he was hired to now, like they've done phenomenally. I mean, they retained the guys they wanted. They retained the guys I wanted. I wanted Quentin Martin, wanted Kobe Howard, wanted Rojas, I wanted Vabu, I wanted Zion, Quentin, Kobe. I wanted Grunk, and I wanted Chaz, and we got Yvonne back. And that's the thing, he said, it sucks that Grunk left. And I said, yeah, like he's going to VT now. And they got that other kid in there. So what's he going to do? Sit there and then start next year? Like, what's he going to do? I mean, if you're going to sit here. Like, I don't get it. But I don't know if he had some sort of deal with Fraudlin or what. But that was a dumb mistake. That was a dumb move, Grunk. That was a dumb move. You went to VT with that clown. Man. The biggest pro for our team next year is to avoid so many landmines in our 2026 schedule so we can make the playoffs. Yeah. Yep. We have a favorable schedule next year. So the guys they retained, the guys they brought in, I think our roster looks pretty good. We need more depth. We're going to need some more depth at defensive back. Linebacker, we're pretty good. Need some more depth at D end. Got plenty of DT. Receiver, we need like one more guy. Running back, we're good. I think O-line, we're good. A little more depth at O-line, but then QB, like, are we going to bring in a guy next year from the portal or something that could play over the young quarterbacks that we have behind Rocco? We'll see. Great insight, Virginia Tech fanatics. When you look at the team, how it was built last year, and especially this year, you see we were an extremely flawed team. Absolutely. Absolutely. NEK's power spread offense really didn't have deep threat concepts, just mid and short RPOs. And yeah, dude, it was so bad. You have a pocket quarterback, you're running RPOs. It was so dumb. Like, you can't do RPOs, man. Like, from the neck up, he couldn't process it fast enough. And it's not a shot at him. They did not set up the offense around Drew Aller. It was asinine. I don't know. It depends on Miami's quarterback. I would have to know kind of the ages of those Miami kids. They have a great defensive line. They have great receivers. Probably Miami because they have so much talent. They really do. And Indiana's losing the most important part of your team, and that's their quarterback. So, of any team is your quarterback. That's the most important part. So, probably Miami because they got some good talent, but it depends on who they have a quarterback. Defensive end is dependent on Granville staying healthy. Yep. Yeah, and I guess they might be moving LeVar down to the end, but he's going to have to put weight on. Indiana definitely can reload. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I saw this video. Kai Trump, Trump's granddaughter, was with those twin girls. I can't remember their names, but I don't even know how they're famous. But I guess because they played basketball. I don't know. But they were like talking crap about Carson Beck. Which is funny because Carson Beck was like, they broke up. So what does Virginia Tech fanatics see as the biggest asset they get from Franklin when they Virginia Tech literally got all of our scout team pretty much. They got a transfer quarterback and the other kid, I forget his name, and Gronk. So that makes zero sense. They got Tyzier Denmark to go there. He's going to suck because it's Franklin. Nothing against Tyzier, but it's Franklin. You got a tight end coach, first-time OC under this moron, Franklin. That's not going to work. You brought in the head coach that they just fired as your DC. Again, you're a moron. So none of it makes sense. The only thing that makes sense is that it doesn't make sense. So, of course. And he said Virginia Tech's a sexy school. Like, he is so full of crap. It's insane. Yeah, Virginia Tech fanatics. What is your biggest asset next year? Is it the rock that you have in the tunnel? Is that what your biggest asset is? Is it the Hokie mascot? Like, you guys are never beating Miami. Probably never beat Pitt. Probably never beat Clemson. Dabo Swinney could literally be wheeled down the hill in a wheelchair, blind, with dark glasses on and a walking stick, face the opposite direction on the sideline, and probably still beat Franklin. So you're never beating any teams that are good. Never. Never. You might get lucky, but you're never beating any relevant teams. And if you think about his schedule now, he's got Miami, he's got Clemson, he's got Pitt, he's got Georgia Tech, he's got Virginia. He could never beat Georgia Tech either. I mean, his schedule is now harder in a lesser conference. No offense, Virginia Tech. Fanatics. I'm not trying to be insulting, but they're a lesser conference than the Big Ten, for sure. The champion of that conference was Duke, and a team that wasn't in the championship game just played the national title game. So the Big Ten, I said it years ago, the Big Ten's going to be the dominating conference. But